Hello everyone and welcome to Mountain Lake Journal. I'm Tom Hellig. This week, the state of New York is suing the Department of Homeland Security over a new ban put in place that could potentially affect tens of thousands of travelers in New York. New York residents who have paid for these cards to help them get back and forth across the border faster will no longer be able to use them once they expire. As of this past week, Homeland Security is no longer allowing New York residents to sign up for or renew their Nexus card, in a move Governor Cuomo says is political payback.
This will hurt this state economically. It will hurt businesses. It will hurt regions of the state. It will hurt Buffalo. Western New York, where you have the Peace Bridge, where you have a lot of traffic going back and forth, and they use what's called the Nexus program, which is one of these programs. It'll hurt Northern New York, the Adirondacks, the Canada border. It is pure politics. Pure politics. You want to make a point about immigration? I understand that. You want to make a political point that Democrats are bad on immigration and they shouldn't give undocumented people a driver's license. I understand that. You can't then use the government to come up with an arbitrary policy that hurts hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers to make your political point. You can't do that. It's an abuse of power. It is extortion.
There are lots of concerns among lawmakers and local residents who use their Nexus cards to cross the border. North Country Assemblyman Billy Jones said this week something needs to be done about the ban, and done quickly.
Chris Trombley is the fire chief in Champlain, New York, a member of Clinton County Emergency Services and an avid traveler to Canada, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week.
It has a huge impact on everybody, especially our interstate or our intercountry commerce.
He and his wife are both Global Entry members, which is part of the federal Trusted Traveler program. Global Entry pre-screens travelers and gives them a clearance saying they are low risk for crossing the border. The Trombleys both recently renewed their Nexus card, which is a program within Global Entry that is specific for Canada and U.S. travel. The card looks similar to a passport, but cuts their wait time at the border almost in half.
The nice thing with the Nexus is it's just that because you're already enrolled in that program, you're a known traveler, a trusted traveler, it's convenience, really, to go across. And at times, especially like in the port of Champlain, it's a very large commercial port. But the nice thing is the minute you pull up, you're identified because you've taken the steps to enroll in this program and gone through all the necessary steps, both on the Canadian side and on the U.S. side. I think it's a very integral part of the local area, and also just the ease of doing business crossing the border.
Trombley and others, including North Country Assemblyman Billy Jones, have serious concerns about Homeland Security's decision to ban New Yorkers from the Global Entry program.
We have many Canadian companies here. We have many people that work back and forth through the border, and this is going to affect them. It's going to affect their daily lives, and it's going to affect business and our economy here in the North Country. We need to fix this.
The ban was put in place after New York's new green light law went into effect in December. 15 states and the District of Columbia have all passed the law, which allows undocumented immigrants to get a driver's license. But only New York residents have been banned from using the Trusted Traveler program. Jones says that's because in passing the green light law, the state took away the authority to allow federal immigration officers access to the state's DMV database.
Unintended consequences, we're the only state that cut off access to our DMV database to our federal partners in the Border Patrol and the Customs.
Jones says he's proposed an amendment to the green light law to make a change, allowing those federal agents access to those DMV records.
We don't know who people are coming back and forth through this border. It's a national security issue.
Cuomo says he's willing to allow DHS access to DMV records, but only for those enrolled in the Trusted Traveler program.
They want to make a political point that they disagree with New York's position allowing driver's license for undocumented, which is our position. We believe undocumented people in the state should be allowed to have a driver's license. We want them licensed. We want, from a public safety point of view, we want to know that the drivers who are on our roads are licensed. President's political position is, we're against immigration, and that's his political position. I get that. What they're now doing to make political hay, to advance their political argument, is they take the Department of Homeland Security in an abuse of power, in a hyper-politicalized use of government. Department of Homeland Security says, we're going to disallow the trusted traveler programs.
Jones says the state and federal government need to work out a solution and the ban lifted.
Cooler heads have to prevail. We have to get to the table. We have to get to a settlement where this works.
New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik weighed in, chastising Governor Cuomo over the green light law, saying that she warned the governor that this is irresponsible policy that would inhibit CBP officers at the northern border from doing their jobs. She says qualified legal citizens should not be penalized by what she calls the governor's unconscionable actions. The governor made a trip to Washington and met with President Trump at the White House on Thursday. And while the acting Homeland Security Secretary called the meeting productive, the two did not resolve the dispute, and the ban remains in effect.